What's going on, everybody? Long time no talk. I know I haven't really been on much over the last couple weeks. Well, honestly, over the last like month or so. And I can sit here and make up some bullshit excuse, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna shoot straight from the hip and tell you how it is. Um, there's scheduling conflicts with some people that I want on regularly that are out of our hands. So we're kind of dealing with that situation because, life happens, when you grow up and do what you're supposed to do and have families and stuff comes up, which is no big deal. So we haven't really done a lot of content for that, and hopefully we can get something figured out down the line and be able to bring more content for you there. As far as myself goes, I've been dealing with some mental issues. I've been dealing with a lot of depression and self-doubt, and honestly, I'll be honest with you. I've been having some pity parties for myself. And have you ever been in a situation in your life where your physical well-being and your mental well-being just really aren't in sync? And by that, I mean, like, you think that you can do more than what you physically can. I've kind of been in that position over probably the last 6 months, honest to God. I've been in a position where I sit there and think I could do normal jobs, like I could do normal stuff that a lot of people can do. And to be honest, at this very moment in time, I can't. I physically can't. My health has gotten to the point where everyday tasks are draining and they take a toll on me. And mental state and mental faculties have never been more prevalent than they are now. Bullet. Sorry, my dog was getting a little loud. But I went and took my wife, my mother-in-law, and my grandmother-in-law out for dinner to celebrate my mother-in-law's birthday. This was almost a week ago. It'll be a week ago tomorrow. And getting there was a chore. Being there was a chore. I was in so much physical pain from being as heavy as I am and the size that I am, that just a simple, meaningful, minuscule task as going to dinner almost broke me. Driving is almost impossible. Like, I used to sit and see clips of the show My 600 Pound Life and think, man, I'll never be there. Newsflash, I am. Like, am I as bad as some of those people? No, I'm not. It could definitely be worse. But it's definitely not an easy life. And for those of you that don't know or have doubts that it's a real thing, let me fill you in. Food addiction is a 100% legit thing. And if you don't believe it, go do some research, because it is addicting, and it's more of an addiction, in my opinion. And I'll fight on this hill. I may be able to go full-fledged for a minute and have to finish the fight from a chair, but I will fight on this hill till the day I die that food addiction is bigger than drugs or alcohol. And is it more of a killer on families and friendships and relationships than drugs or alcohol? Not necessarily, but it will kill you, just like those. And when I say it's worse, by what I mean by that is that it is more attainable. You don't have to know somebody that can get you this or can get you that, or you ain't got to be on the lookout for cops to bust you and arrest you for having possession of, a bag of chips, or, possession of a candy bar, or you ain't got to worry about DUE or DWE, driving while eating. Like, you don't get points on your license or serve jail time over it. So yeah, it's more sustainable, it's more attainable, and it's more damaging to yourself in a way, because you don't have to have that hookup. You can just go to the corner store or the gas station or your local Dollar Tree. Doesn't matter where you go. It's everywhere. Meth ain't everywhere. Cocaine's not everywhere. And I'm not going to say marijuana, because I don't believe the hype that marijuana is a gateway drug. I really don't. I've smoked weed before and never have I ever wanted to do anything other than that. So I'm going to stop people right there on that. But food addiction has always been around my entire life, and it's time to take it for what it is. Like, everything in society is coming out and it's like, oh, you got to accept this, you got to accept that, but big people are still discriminated against. We're still looked down on in society as a drain. Yeah, we got to accept everybody else's thing, but it's not okay to be big anymore. You got to change. And people will be like, oh, it's only for your health. No, it's not. People will use that it's for your health as a scapegoat, but really they just don't like the way we look. And not every person that is big by choice. A lot of them, like myself, deal with underlying traumas and issues, and we use food as a coping mechanism to deal with it, because that's the only thing that gives us fulfillment, even if for that split second. So please, the next time you're out and you see a big person, you go to judge them, try and think what's in their head. Try and think what they're dealing with. Because I tell you right now, it's no different than, somebody that is in recovery, or somebody that's dealing with drug or alcohol addiction. Because in my experience, and I've seen both, I've seen all sorts of addiction. I've seen drug addiction, I've seen alcoholism, and I've dealt with food addiction my whole life. So it's no different. So please stop judging. Stop the hate. Accept us. Try and help us. Not just poke fun at and be like, oh, well, you need to do this or you need to do that. Newsflash, we all know what we got to do. But there's a reason why we're not doing it. So instead of judging and instead of looking down and instead of ridiculing, try and lend a helping hand. Try and find out what's bothering that person, or see if you can help them or encourage them. If you're going to encourage someone that is like me to exercise, encourage to do it with them. Be like, hey, I'm going to start walking. You want to walk with me? Because a lot of times it's just acceptance is what we're asking for and what we need. Someone just to be like, yo, I see your pain. I see your struggle. I may not know exactly how you're dealing with it, but I understand what's going on. If you need to talk, it's cool. Because like for me, and this happened last night, my wife did it by accident. When I was a kid, I was always made to feel unwanted. And that always bothered me. I didn't really have a lot of friends. I was picked on and made fun of all the way through school. I would say that it stopped in high school, but it didn't. It just got more advanced. I dealt with rejection, and I dealt with a lot of issues at home that a lot of people didn't really know about. I didn't grow up in a home where like my parents beat me or I went without, because God knows I didn't go without. But their type of parenting isn't what I needed. And don't get me wrong, I love my parents. I'd give anything to have them back. But I feel like they didn't know how to deal with their issues, so they didn't know how to deal with mine. So as a kid, just to, get the nurturing and the acceptance I needed, I turned to food. That was the only thing that I could really relate with. And like, I don't know, my mom was almost killed by a doctor because he had her on too many medications. So I seen her drug addiction, and thank the Lord for the doctor she had, because if that she had after him, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have had the time with her that I did have, because he saved her life and made her go to rehab. And my dad was he was a man's man, and he really didn't know how to deal with feelings and all that stuff. He was more of the fixer upper type person. Like, he'd fix this when it broke or fix that when it broke. He didn't really sit around and talk feelings and all that stuff. But I feel like they did the best that they could. I just needed a little more than what they were able to deal with. Because mom, she wasn't able to work. She developed fibromyalgia really bad, and a few other health problems. And like, I don't know, we had a lot of medical issues growing up, and I don't know, it just, for some reason, they just didn't know how to deal with it, and neither did I. And I still, to this day, deal with food addiction and dealing with my issues that way. So, but I'm working on it, and we'll see what happens. I'm supposed to hopefully get bariatric surgery here in a few months. I got a doctor's appointment on Monday, so that'll be good. But I'm working through my issues with that, trying to stop that from happening and conquer that. That way, when the time comes for my surgery, I'll be good and ready to kick ass like I used to. But anywho, I was just kind of ranting and raving about that for a little bit because I know some people out there struggle with it, and I just want you to know you're not alone. So please reach out anytime if you want to talk about it. I'm always around. I can always help. I feel like it's better to have somebody to lean on that's going through that struggle, that knows those feelings, that knows what you're dealing with, than have somebody that's never had that issue. And if you've never had that issue or that quirk, God bless you. Like, you're lucky. Like, more power to you. But for those of you that haven't, please don't pass judgment on those of us that do. Because we would give anything to be away from this addiction and not have to worry about it. So I just want this world, and I feel like this is kind of my way of not spreading hate and spreading love. Like, we all need to love one another, and we all need to just kind of chill and not take things so seriously. And like, think of how it was when we were growing up. Like, people that are 90s kids like myself, like we had the greatest growing up of anyone that I can think of any generation. Like, think of all the things we seen and how, like, it didn't really matter, if so and so disagreed with you or they thought differently. Like, that stuff didn't really matter, because we were able to kind of, mend the fence on that a little bit. Like, I remember back in the day, me and my wife was just talking about this. Back in the day, it was, who were you more of a fan of, Britney or Christina? And like I told her, you wanted to sell records, you put Britney on it. You wanted good music, you put Christina on. And just like, who are you more of a fan of, NSYNC or Backstreet? I'm not afraid to admit it. I like both. I'm like my boy Drew says, I'm comfortable with my banality. I don't really care. I'm a fan of both. But if I had to choose overall music catalog, I'm going Backstreet Boys. But NSYNC does have my favorite boy band song. As long as we're not talking 98 Degrees, I'm pretty much with you. I don't deal well with 98 Degrees. I'm not really a big Nick Lachey guy. But I love how I just kind of rambled on into music. But I don't know. Like, we need to just stop hating so much and just kind of accept people how they are, accept people for what they like. If they don't like what you like, big deal. You don't like what they like. It doesn't matter. Like, life is too damn short to spread hate and negativity, and we just need to love and have fun while we're here, because I'll be 36 next month. I don't know where the hell the last 5 years have gone. I've had a lot happen in 5 years. I almost died, lost my dad. I lost a pet. I lost a bunch of fish. But I'll tell you, never in my life did I ever expect Clay County Fair fish to last as long as those did. Freaking insane. I think we had them for like 2.5 years. I think when my wife won them at the fair, I was like, oh great, I'll flush these in about 2 weeks. No. I think it's like 2.5 years we had those damn things. I do miss them though. They got pretty freaking big. But anyway, so yeah, there's that. I'm glad that I was able to get that off my chest. I was going to do a bunch of episodes, but I think I'm just going to do this one and kind of keep going. So I was going to play some Xbox, but I think I'm just going to do this and play it tomorrow. Because I'm ready to play some Starfield. But anybody watch any games this weekend? Anybody watch any football? Any NFL? I did. And I watched the game last night, and as a Vikings fan, this is a piss poor way to start. I tell you what, man. Like, I wish I had a Hank Hill voiceover I could do. I'll tell you what. But yeah, no, like, I don't understand, man. Like, Kirk Cousins last night threw 4 touchdowns, no picks, 360 yards, but the damn team couldn't hold on to the freaking football. I couldn't believe it. We should have won that game. We really should have. Philly, I don't think is as good as what people think they are. After last night's game against the Vikings and their game, who they play? I can't remember who they played, but I think it was a close game. Was it Tennessee? No, I think it was New Orleans. I don't know. All I know is I don't think they're as good as what people thought. I think there's something missing for Philly. Of course, I don't have any Philly players. But yeah, no, like I was just so disappointed last night. And not that we lost. Like, Dwayne can vouch for me. I went into that game figuring we were going to lose. But, oh, it was New England. Yeah, it was New England. My bad. I knew we were going to go in and lose. That I did know. No big shocker there. But I don't know. It baffled me how bad we played. The defense did great. I am extremely impressed with Brian Flores' defense. It was a definite improvement from last year. Ivan Pace Jr. is going to be a freaking star. He's going to be a great asset to our defense for years to come. I hate to say it. I really do, but I miss Dalvin Cook. I feel like that's what's missing from our offense. I've seen so many people on Facebook bashing Kirk Cousins and talking about how they miss Adam Thielen. I don't, because Jordan Addison is freaking balling. That dude has 2 touchdowns in 2 games. Fantasy football-wise, he's been double digits every week. Jordan Addison is going to be a star. I don't miss Adam Thielen. I love me some Adam Thielen, but I don't miss him. I miss Dalvin Cook. Alexander Mattison is proving me wrong. I thought he was going to be able to handle it. He can't handle shit. He needs to go. Last night he reminded me of Brucey from Longest Yard. You know how Brucey kept fumbling the ball? And he's like, I knew I shouldn't have had that popcorn. I feel like that's how Alexander Mattison was. He had them popcorn fingers. But he's not impressing me at all. They need to do something with him. Give me 1 second. I don't know. He's definitely not the guy. Definitely not the guy. I do like Anthony Richardson for the Colts. It's going to be a rough season for Colts fans. But I like him. Kid's going to be a star. He's got a cannon. He can move. I think this week he steps up. Because I think the Colts are playing the freaking, was it the Texans? Here, give me a sec here. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the games, and I'm going to go ahead and make my picks. Dwayne's supposed to do this too, but I don't know. We're having issues with being able to get him on here. So I'm going to go ahead and make my picks for the week. Let's see here. We got NFL. Okay, schedule. Alright, here we go. I was right, they do play the Texans. Alright, cool. So, let's go. We got Ravens and Bengals. Last week, I don't know what the hell happened to my boy Joe Burrow. I know my boy Parker. Shout out to my boy Parker Hamilton. I know he was had to be throwing a fit. That's my boy. He's a huge Bengals fan. He'll probably be at the game because I think he's got tickets again. So with it being in Cincinnati, he'll be there. So I'm gonna pick the Bengals to come back and win that one. We got the Raiders and Bills. I don't buy into Jimmy G at all. I haven't since he was in New England. Never thought he was all that great. I think the Bills was a fluke loss. So I'm going to go with the Bills to bounce back and win that game. Buccaneers and Bears. The Buccaneers had a fluke win against us. Again, turnovers was our downfall last week. It's been our downfall this week. And if the Vikings don't do something to change it, it's going to be our downfall every freaking week. But I'm not going to get into that right now. This is a tough one because I could honestly see this game going either way. I love me some Justin Fields, even though I shouldn't because he's a Bear and a Buckeye. So it's definitely a double-edged sword for me. But I like watching him play. I'm a huge Mike Evans fan. I have been ever since he got in the league. I was a fan of him in Texas A&M back when he was catching balls from Johnny Manziel. But I'm gonna go Tampa Bay on this one. I'm gonna say the Bucks. They're gonna win. Packers at Falcons. As much as I want to say Atlanta, I'm gonna go Green Bay because I think I was wrong about Jordan Love. Maybe he is the guy. I don't know, but I hope Atlanta. But I could see Green Bay winning it. Chiefs, Jaguars, that's going to be tough. But I don't really think who's the Chiefs' big receivers? I don't really think they have any other than Travis Kelce. And is he playing this week? I'm going to go on a limb, man. I'm going to say Jacksonville. I go with Duval Nation. Calvin Ridley killed it last week. I'm a big Trevor Lawrence guy. I like what Doug Peterson's doing down there. I'm going to go Jacksonville on that to beat Kansas City. I think the Chiefs take a step back. I think they're relying too much on Patrick Mahomes. I really do. Seattle, Detroit. I'm gonna go Detroit on that one. Amon-Ra St. Brown, that dude's just a freaking nutcase. He's so good. And it's hard to go against Dan Campbell. That guy's got the balls the size of bowling balls. Then we got the Colts and Texans. I'm going to pick the Colts to win that game. Texans just, that team is a hot freaking mess, man. My buddy, my dog Bullet came in here to say hi to me. I gotta go with the Colts on that one. They're definitely gonna win that game. Chargers Titans, definitely gotta go with the Chargers and Justin Herbert on that one. I can't believe the Titans are still playing Ryan Tannehill. That dude needs gone. He's old. They need to play Malik Willis or Will Levis. Play him. They just wasted that pick on Will Levis. Play that dude. But yeah, I'm one of the Chargers on that one. I feel like they have too many weapons. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler. That dude's legit. I love watching him play. Then we got Giants and Cardinals. Like, easily Giants. The Cardinals are trash. But after last week, the Giants were trash too. The Cowboys made them look like a bunch of little punks. But it's definitely going to be a bounce back game for Saquon and Daniel Jones. So I'm definitely going to go with the Giants. 49ers and Rams. That defense is going to eat without Cooper Kupp. That Rams don't have an offense. I don't see it. And the way the 49ers offense is playing with Brock Purdy and Brandon Ayuk and Debo and CMC, like they're not stopping the 49ers. So that's going to be an easy win for the Niners. Rams will fall to them. Commanders and Broncos, that could surprisingly be a decent game. I'm going to go Commanders. I don't trust Russell Wilson one bit. I think Russell Wilson's better days are over. I don't give a rat's ass if they brought Sean Payton in or not. Sean Payton was only good because he had Drew Brees. Let's be honest. Drew Brees made Sean Payton look like a legit head coach. But the Broncos will finish in the bottom 10 this year. They're not going to be a decent team. No threat at all. I'm going to go with the Commanders. Jets, Cowboys. Well, if Aaron Rodgers was there, my prediction wouldn't be different. I would still say the Cowboys over the Jets, but it would be a much better game with Aaron Rodgers against Dak Prescott and all that over Zach Wilson. No, don't get me wrong. Zach Wilson played great last week. He really did. He played really, really well. But Dallas, man, that defense, it's scary good. With Stephon Gilmore added to it, and you still got Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons. That defense is, and Malik Hooker on there now. Like, they're going to be a scary, scary defense. And if their offense can do what their defense does, they're going to be a scary team to deal with. Sorry. Gotta get that water in. But, I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah, I'm definitely going to pick the Cowboys over the Jets. Dolphins over the Patriots. Tua and Tyreek Hill are extremely entertaining to watch. Those two are so in sync. I have not seen, okay, and this is going to age me as a Vikings fan, and I don't really care. I have never seen a star wide receiver make a mediocre quarterback look good like Tyreek does since Moss and Culpepper. Now, don't get me wrong. I love me some Dante Culpepper. When I was in school growing up, Dante was my guy. Like that was my dude. But let's be honest. He wasn't a legit guy. He wasn't great at throwing the ball. He threw a lot of touchdowns, but he also threw a lot of interceptions. Randy Moss made him look good, which is why he sucked after he lost Moss. Just like Tyreek is making Tua look good. Because up until he got hurt last season and got all those concussions, I hope he's okay with all those. I don't want to see someone like him. I don't want to see any athlete have an altered life because of a game. And what baffled me last year was people were going on and on and on about him. Like, screw him, fuck him. Like, you don't want to see somebody get brain damage just because they wanted to play. Like, come on now. But up until they got Tyreek Hill, the Dolphins were talking about trading or cutting Tua. They weren't happy with what he had done. And once Tyreek Hill came into town, oh my gosh, he's a superstar. He's a stud. Just like Moss made Culpepper look. But I love watching those two. They're entertaining as can be. But I'm going to pick the Dolphins on that game. And then we got Monday night. We got Saints and Panthers. I gotta go with my boy Derek Carr and the Saints. I can't stand the Saints. Anybody knows Vikings history knows why I can't stand the Saints. Which sucks because I do like Derek Carr. I wanted Derek Carr when he got drafted. I wanted the Vikings to get him. Instead, we picked Teddy Bridgewater. Not a big deal because I like me some Teddy Two Gloves, but I don't know. I don't really know a lot about the Panthers. I know Bryce Young is a rookie quarterback. They have Adam Thielen. They have DJ Chark. Like, they've got some guys, but they're going to be a top 5 draft pick next year. But I'm going to go with the Saints. And the final game we have for Monday night, it is the Browns versus the Steelers. I got to ride the hot hand, and with what Cleveland did to Joe Burrow and the Bengals last week, I'd imagine they're going to do some nasty stuff to Kenny Pickett and the Steelers as well. So I'm going to go with Cleveland on that one. So we'll see what happens. Like, it's going to be an interesting year or an interesting week, I think. I'm already 0 for 1 this week because I picked the Vikings over the Eagles. But, when you're a fan of a team, you kind of have to pick them, whether you think they're going to win or not. Now, last week they screwed me, but oh well. But yeah, so I bought me a early birthday present for myself. I bought me as a 4-pack of early 90s Steven Seagal movies. I love me some early Seagal movies, man. Like, I don't think, for my own personal taste, I don't think it gets much better than Out for Justice. Like, I used to watch old Seagal movies with my dad growing up, and, like, that was our thing. Like, you know how some fathers have things with their sons, like it's like working on cars or doing this or doing that. Me and my dad had 3 things that we loved to do together every year. We'd go fishing, we would watch Steven Seagal movies, and we would always go down to the Saline City tractor pull. And that was a lot of fun. Watch the Garden Tractor Pull back in the day. Speaking of fun things to do, around here. Shout out to all the wrestling fans around here. Tomorrow night at the Clay County Fairgrounds, Signal 10 Pro Wrestling makes his debut. Puts on their first show at the Clay County Fairgrounds. It's going to be an amazing show. I'm going to try and get myself out there. We'll just see how everything goes. But yeah, was it? I think it's $15 for front row, $12 for general admission. If you ain't got nothing to do tomorrow night, go on out. Signal 10 Pro Wrestling, Clay County Fairgrounds. It's going to be an amazing show with some really great local talent. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what people say about it. Yeah, it's front row $15, general admission $12, advanced general $10, kids 3 and under are free. Doors open at 5:30. Show starts at 6:30. It's definitely gonna have some really, really good wrestling going on. So let's go out and support. I see they got Sam Knight on the card, so that's definitely going to be a good show. Anytime Sam Knight's on the card, it's always good. I've seen him wrestle a couple times. Really great talent. But yeah, man, go on out and support. I'm glad to have some pro wrestling here in town. Now that New Wave Pro is no longer around, there in Terre Haute, that was amazing. I never went to as many shows as I wanted to, but life happens. But yeah, so tomorrow night, Clay County Fairgrounds, doors open 5:30. Signal 10 Pro Wrestling. Going to be a great time, great night, great event. Can't wait to see it. But yeah, so I seen tonight that The Rock showed up on SmackDown, but the one that got me excited was that Pat McAfee showed back up. I don't know how you guys are, but I love me some Pat McAfee. That dude is amazing. He's hilarious, so funny, super knowledgeable about sports and what goes on. I don't really listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to Joe Rogan's every now and then. I listen to Pat McAfee's. I love the episode of Pat McAfee's he had Brock Lesnar on. That was so great. I just found Theo Vaughn's podcast as well, and I watched the episodes where he had Jesse Ventura, Ric Flair, and Hulk Hogan on. The Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair ones were awesome. Ric Flair, that dude, I would give anything to sit and have a beer with Ric Flair. That dude is so funny. Big Ric Flair fan. When I was a kid, I was a huge Hulk Hogan fan as a youngster. All of us that watched wrestling when we were kids was a Hulk Hogan fan at some point. The Jesse Ventura one was very interesting. Theo didn't really get a lot of talking going on as far as interview goes. Jesse kind of went on his little rampage, talking a bunch of nonsense, if you ask me. But I don't really have a whole lot going on this weekend. Wife's got to work, so I'm kind of just chilling. Might probably gonna watch my Seagal movies this weekend. Catch some football on Sunday. See about what games I can catch for college tomorrow. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Michigan so far. What about Colorado, man, with Dion, Coach Primetime? That dude is killing it, man. I seen he's coming under some flack though because of his swagger. I seen Shady McCoy talking about it on one of the football shows on, I think, on ESPN, and he was talking about Dion with his hat and his sunglasses and all this stuff. I think people just need to calm the fuck down. Like, pardon my language, but like, I don't sugarcoat anything on here. Those head coaches that are bitching and moaning about that kind of stuff, like, what do you think you were gonna get? It's Deion motherflipping Sanders. Like, it's prime time. It's the GOAT of defensive backs. And depending on who you talk to, the greatest defensive player of all time. Like, it's not. That'd have been like wrestlers complaining about Ric Flair's robes. Like, I don't know. And it's Deion Sanders. Like, what do you think you're gonna get? I just think they're scared because of how well he's adapted and how well he's taken to college football and how dominant his teams have been these past 2 games. Like, I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see how Deion does it. And that's one thing I love about Deion Sanders is he's up in your face. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He's flamboyant. He's cocky. He's arrogant. But he backs it up. Like, the man is a legit legend and an icon. So just deal with it. But so yeah, I'm excited to see what's going on with that. What happens with the games this weekend, and I'm just gonna enjoy myself and do some DDP yoga this weekend. Get my workouts in, and just chill. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna wrap up. We spent a little bit more time than I was thinking I would, but it's great. I loved it. I am going to get on here more. There's going to be more content. I apologize to y'all for slacking. But anywho, look forward to more content. I'm going to try and get more guests on here. I'm supposed to be doing a part 2 with my boy Brett Seipels here soon. That's going to be awesome. We're going to talk about the store. We're going to talk about his music career. We're going to talk music and wrestling and just, good old stuff that we both enjoy. And I look forward to hearing his stories from the road and hearing about his ideas on bands and who's good and who's not, and trying to come up with some lists, and we'll do that. So got him coming on for part 2. I'm going to try and get Sean Franklin on here. We're going to try and get that set up. Try and get Dwayne and Jay on here so we can do some more stuff that way. But yeah, I got some more content coming for you. But yeah, remember, tomorrow night, 5:30, doors open, Clay County Fairgrounds, Signal 10 Wrestling. It's going to be a great show and a great time. Go on out, support your local wrestling. Indie wrestling is where it's at. So I'm going to sign off, and I will see y'all later. Peace.